We have a major announcement. We have a major announcement. Dr. Greg Moore wins Principal of the Year. Man, I am so excited for you. Since you recorded our podcast, you won Principal of the Year. So we wanted to give you the greatest Tiger Code honor that we could give you and give you a major shout out for all the hard work that you're putting in, that your staff is putting in, that your students are putting in. And to be celebrated for Principal of the Year out of all the principals, man, that's absolutely amazing. Congrats, Dr. Moore. You deserve it. Welcome to the Mindset on Resilience podcast, where we're building more confident, resilient, and mentally strong communities. I am your host, Daniel Truelove, and I am excited about the guest that we have today. Oh man, he's a game changer. I think that's one of the ways that I would describe him. He's someone that has been doing a lot of great things in the education space, not just recently. He's been doing it for a long time. 23 years. Yes, you heard that right. 23 years in education. Proud principal of Springville High School. Tiger Code champ. Definitely a big advocate of that. Overall, great man, and someone that I'm excited to call a colleague, a friend of mine, none other than Dr. Greg Moore. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well. It's great to be able to spend this time in this space with you and be able to share and beyond excited just to have this opportunity to be on this platform with you.
I'm surprised you ain't got the belt or the turnaround chain. Listen, you typically keep that on you.
Man, the weather. I haven't been able to get in the building. I'm at home. We've been shut down since last week. So had we had school today, it'd have been on my shoulder. We'd have been smiling with it.
I already know that. I already know, man. I love like everything that you do, man. You're such a positive advocate for the work that you do. You are. I was had the opportunity to see you speak about the work that you're doing with your presentation, and we'll get a little bit more into that with the Hope Institute. But man, the kids love you. Staff love you. I've had an opportunity to come out there and work with you, man, and you're doing a great job, man. So excited to be able to talk about your journey and learn a little bit more about how you got to where you're at.
Man, for me, played a little college basketball in Montgomery at Fulton University and was really looking for a major. Thought I really wanted to be a lawyer and went into going into college playing basketball. And by my sophomore year, I declared myself an English major because I was going to major in English because it was a prerequisite to law school and just fell in love with the game of basketball and was able to coach a little bit and saw the opportunity to be able to come back home and I could work on my master's as far as get a teaching certificate along with coach basketball. So I coached basketball and taught English and did that for 7 years and had a great time, enjoyed it, had some success doing those things, taking some of the fundamentals and being able to apply those things that I had learned through high school basketball and college basketball of just how to be a better person, how to be mentally tough, how to be disciplined, how to be coachable, but being able to apply those things to my profession, not alone as being an athlete, but you take those same skills and those same things that's instilled in you and you carry them over. So use those things to help young people and try to be successful, but begin to see after 7 years that I was only being able to impact kids in a classroom or kids on a team. So you wanted to broaden your impact. So, that took me in that journey toward administration. And for 10 years, I did that assistant part of some people like to call them those three B's, those butts, books, and buses, did those things for 10 years and did my roles, but, wanted to have a chance to be able to touch it all, and have an impact to lead the entire building. So, was blessed, after 10 years to have a chance to become the principal of Springwell Elementary School. And I did that, and that was going into my 17th year. So I was able to do that after 17 years of coaching, teaching, and being an assistant principal. Year 17, you get this opportunity, and I just wanted to take it, and run with it and apply all those things that I had learned and seen and had grown from experiences, and just have that opportunity. And I did Springwell Elementary for 3 years and had a great time, and transferred to the high school, and we continue to move forward. You're blessed that the kids that you had at Springwell Elementary, I've been there long enough. Now they're coming to the high school. So, my junior, sophomore, and freshmen were my first, fifth, fourth, and third graders. So that relationship that's been built over time and has led to some very powerful things. And I mean, I am beyond blessed because of it.
So tell me a little bit about that. You said the 10 years as an assistant principal. And then after that 10th year, you got the opportunity to be the principal at the elementary school. But tell me a little bit about that journey as an assistant principal. 10 years, did you ever think that it was going to take that long to become a principal? Or did you have any adversity during that trying to get to the space that you're at right now?
Yeah, but early on when you get started and you get into that role as an assistant principal, you see yourself as the disciplinarian, and you want to go in and kind of set the tone for the building. We're going to do right and wrong, how we're going to handle things, and you're more looking at the duties of the job and not the people. So you get caught up in policies and how to manage a building, but you lose sight of people. So I struggled early. I struggled just because I was trying to fulfill the role, but I was losing. I wasn't really gaining relationships. So I learned that over time after speaking with some mentors on how things were going. And so when you go into interviews, you begin to learn that as a principal, you're not talking about the task that you do and the duties. You're talking about leadership. You're talking about vision. You're talking about a mission of how you can shift a culture and change a building. So over time, you learn, and each time, and over time, when you get those interviews, you think that you finally found your spot or found something that's for you, and it doesn't work out. And you become a little bit, just kind of discouraged on your journey. And I left high school after 8 years and was an elementary school administrator for 2 years. So you go from 8 years dealing with teenagers to 2 years dealing with 6 year olds. You see a contrast, but you learn from that because you see the foundation of this is where this started. This 6 year old at some point is going to be a 17-year-old. So you get to see from where I dealt with them at that age to dealing with a younger age, you begin to change your perspective. And that was a blessing for me because it shifted and gave me a chance to see it from two sides. So that kind of helped. So once I became a principal at the elementary school, I knew that we had to start sharing a foundation for children to help them have an opportunity to be successful.
How many do you know how many times that you applied for a principal role? Like, how many times did it take you before you actually got the yes?
It took seven. 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 Now, three of those were not for principalships. I was attempting to move to a central office in those positions. I didn't get those positions. Before as true principalships, it was four. In the last two, actually, the year before I was blessed to receive Springwell Elementary, I had an interview for an elementary school job in the same system I'm in now and didn't get it. And so I told him I was done. Like I'm not. That's not for me. I'm just not. But that just wasn't the one that God had for me. So, that next one that came open, we had a couple of conversations. I had to go and speak with my building principal about it. He encouraged me to apply, and then I received that opportunity, to go to Springville Elementary School.
So what kept you? So that, I guess it was the sixth application because you got it on the seventh. So the sixth application, you said, all right, and so I'm done with this. But then a year later, you still went for it. What made you like continue to pursue this path?
Well, I just felt within myself that, I felt I could do it, but sometimes they also tell you not to be selective. You just go whatever open you want to apply for, you want to show them you're eager for it. But, you want to still be mindful of sometimes you don't want to walk in a situation that's not conducive for you to be successful. Sometimes we just take a job because I want to be a principal. I just didn't want to be a principal to say I was a principal. I wanted a place where I felt I could go in and truly make a difference. And so, those things just it wasn't a fit maybe. And maybe I wasn't a person. That seventh time, honestly, the reason why I applied was because my principal at the time said, if you want to come back and lead this elementary school, it's so large, we had 1,200 kids. He said, you need to show that you've led a school. And he encouraged me to give it another opportunity with the hope that I would come back and run the elementary school that I was serving as assistant principal at the time.
Okay, so seventh time, you get that yes, right? Um, Now you're in that principal role. What's the difference between you said the three B's, right? You said bus, was it buses, and books? I think
Books and buses.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right.
So
Right.
now you're leading, right? Your complete mission, your vision. You're able to fully implement everything that you desire versus being an AP. Like what was that transition like for you?
It was different. because I didn't make a transition in the summer. School had already started. School was in session. They had started school without a true principal, and I was fulfilling my assistant principal roles at the school where I was serving. So once I became received the opportunity to become the principal, I didn't start until October the 1st. So I had walked in, the school was already rolling. So it was a little bit different because I was having to play catch up. And when you first get started, all the duties that you've had, so you can handle those. But then now you're having to shift in the curriculum, and you're having to shift to answer different questions, and you're looking at the financial pieces. And so it was a lot of moving parts, early on. But I had a lot of experience, and I had a lot of people that I could lean on for questions, and it kind of helped ease it, make it a little bit easier for me. And the faculty and staff at Springville Elementary School was unbelievable. And so they helped with the transition of being understanding, and the style in which we had as far as coming in, as far as my philosophy, kind of helped me move in and kind of build relationships quick and begin to build relationships with kids, and it kind of helped things progress easier for me.
You've mentioned something a couple of times that I think is like super important because I think that you can get into a principal role, and now that you're a leader, now that supposed to have all the answers. Let's just say some people can think that. I'm not saying you think that, but some people can like think that like, oh, I have to have all the answers. You've mentioned that I could call on people. You mentioned mentor earlier. It seems like you're not in the role and saying that I'm going to just like be a lone ranger in this role. You still have a partnership, collaboration, and community, even as a leader. Will you talk about that for maybe somebody that's out there and they may be isolated in their principalship and not have that, collaborative, type of team? What type of role did that play for you?
Tremendous. And I think a part of that is coming in understanding that when you're coming in new to a building, that you have to be willing to allow other people in your building to have a voice and take on roles of leadership. When you're trying to manage an entire school building, you can't do that alone. You can't shoulder it alone. And they don't want you to shoulder it alone. They want to feel included and involved. They don't want it to feel as if there's only one person that manages and does all, and we can't do anything until we ask him, or we can't do anything until, you know, he or she's aware. You're going to have to be willing to build a team around you and give some people some leadership opportunities and have a lot of trust, and then you work well together. But I think when you come in and you're open to sharing with people that I'm here to serve along with you and lead this school to greatness with you, and not you, everybody follow me, then you get a little more of a collective buy-in faster. I didn't want to struggle early. I felt I needed to come in and be successful, but I knew that you can't do that by yourself. I hadn't seen one team. When you're a team, it's hard to be as successful individually. Now, an individual sport, that's a lot different. But when you look at a team concept and leading children and helping children be successful, it's hard to do it on your own. So if you go into that thinking I'm the man, or I'm gonna run it, or this is my time, then it might be hard for you early on. You'll have to learn from that experience.
You were there for 3 years, I believe you said that right, at the elementary school. Then you go back to high school. I'm kind of principal at Springville High School, and so you've already had that experience, most of it like at the high school level. Then go back to elementary level and back up to the high school level. And you said that helped shape your perspective, in a way. Tell me about what it was like stepping back into that high school building, but as a principal.
Again, it's different because I didn't step into that role till October 1 again. So school had already started. I was at Springwell Elementary, leading, doing what we do. We had just come off of a great year. We had actually come out of COVID. We had a great year. We went home on March 13th, went home for COVID. So didn't really get to see my kids much. We came back and started the school year trying to get things back rolling in a positive direction, trying to get things back, kids back, used to having true education in the building because they hadn't been in school since March. So I'm back at the elementary school. We get to mid-September, the principal at Springville High is retiring, and so they need a new principal. So I end up transferring to the high school. So once again, school's already in session, and these are kids that I don't know. So I'm walking in October 1 again, rocking and rolling. So it's different. It's different again, and now you're not leading elementary age children where they want to high five you and know your name and talk about it and want to do well. These high school kids like, who is this dude and what are we about to do? You know, so it was different. It was different, you know, but you have to still be who you are, you know, and you go in and you just start leading and trying to do things a certain way. And high school kids have to see it in you. Elementary kids believe you from the beginning. They believe in you till they don't have a reason to. High school children, just let me do me. That you do what you do. They want to see that you're sincere about who you are before they buy into you. So that took a little bit of time.
And I want to talk about that journey because obviously you're doing a lot of great things. I mentioned at the very beginning, Tiger Code, and I know you're all about that. But also, let's talk about some of the successes. 2023 uh, awardee for the promising practice from character.org. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So you are obviously doing great things as it relates to character and as it relates to culture. I also know that you're a fellow with the Hope Institute as well. So you are really big when it comes to making sure the climate and culture of your school is right. But tell me about that journey to getting there because, like you said, it didn't start off that way. So you had to build to kind of like create what you have right now. Tell me about that building process.
Well, the process is, coming in, I've kind of coming in October to a high school. I wanted the school to run, in high school, master schedule's done, sports are rolling, things are already in place. So you can't really go in and we're changing things. So you just need to see it. So I spent October to the end of the year seeing it, spending time learning about the building, learning about the school, but toward the end, about mid-April, I went to one of our counselors who's retired now, Miss Donna Robertson, and I said, hey, we got to have some core values. We got to have a mission and vision. We need a direction. I said, everybody's here. We're back. Kids are getting back in session. We're not distance learning anymore. We're in traditional school settings, but we're not all going in the same direction. We have activities over here, sports over here, instruction here, music, fine arts here, but we don't have a collective vision of this is who we are or an identity. I said, we need something. And she said, oh, you hadn't seen our Tiger Code. And I said, what are you talking about? She said, it's on the wall. It's been on the wall for 10 years. And I said, well, what is it? She said, well, it's something we wrote some years ago, but we hadn't used it in a long time. It's just on the wall. And so I went out there and read it, and it was like, I will seek truth and integrity. I will live generously. I will give encouragement. I will show respect. I will have pride for myself, my school, and my community because I am a tiger. And that's your core values right there in Tiger: truth, integrity, generosity, encouragement, and respect. Here's our core values. Here's our touchstone. So why aren't we using it? So I took that first year and just started kind of trying to resuscitate it like a DVD. I'm like a AED, just trying to resuscitate and bring it back to life. So I didn't go and change something or try to create something different. I used something they already had. I just started implementing it. But from day one of that first year coming back in August, my first full year at Springville High School, I said Tiger Code as much as I could and just kind of started to talk about it, started to post it, started to kind of share it. And kids kind of giggled about it. Kids kind of like, whatever, da da da. And like I would tell kids all the time, if you laugh about it, you talk about it. If it's funny to you, you're still thinking about it. Laugh or believe, But I just stayed consistent with it. And 3 years later, we've gotten to where we are now. So early on, even kids talk about like, I can't believe like it used to be funny and we didn't really think you were serious, but now we realize how much it means to you and it means that much to us now. So it took some time, but that's once again being resilient because I felt as if in a high school setting, you know, some kids are going to go to college, some are going to go into the workforce, some might go to the military. We're all going in different directions once we leave. But while we're all here together, we can all have one common goal, and that's to be good people. We all can be good people. So that's a common staple at Springville High School. Is that's a given. Everybody in this building can be a good person. We can all strive to be good people. Now, what we do beyond that point and where we go in life, that's to be determined. But for a while, our time here together, we all can be good people. And that starts with our Tiger Code.
I feel like your history, being a former athlete, a coach, you know the importance of shared mission, shared vision, and us getting on the same page. I know it's a little bit different when you have 200, 300, 400, 500. You talked about 1,200 kids. That's a little bit different. Also, now taking to account the educators that are in the building as well. Uh, how long did it take before really people started realizing that you were serious? Because you may have, at the very beginning, you may have been the only one saying Tiger Code. How long did it take for people to like, okay, this man is serious about he's serious about this.
It really took after the first full year. Like we went all the way through the school year, and when we did it, and we kind of talked about it, and it went, but it didn't really go. But I had to do some soul searching that following summer, and to say, are you really serious about this? Because you talk about it, but they got to see it in you. You got to be passionate about it. You got to lead it and really be sincere about what you're standing for. And that's the summer also that I discovered TrophySmack.com and made that belt and had to have something for them to see as a symbol of a championship mindset of excellence. We're going to be champions of character. We're going to be champions and do things the right way. So I didn't even tell anybody I had it. And so I waited until we had our first student grade level meetings. And I started saying, I got a belt, a championship belt. And they're like, whatever. And so I went in there and put it on my shoulder, started walking around with it and saying, we're going to be champions, champions every day. Sold out to it, man. I bought wristbands, Tiger Code bands. I wear mine 24/7. We have. I mean, I just started plastering it, in the community and everything. And when they began to see that, so really year two was when it really took off because I went all in.
Talk to me a little bit about how, because I've seen some of the stuff that your kids have done. Tell me a little bit about because you said earlier, that leading is one thing to where people need to be moving with you in that same direction. Tell us a little bit about now the kids have owned it, some of the things that they've done that have taken the Tiger Code to the next level around your building.
I'm gonna tell you something that is about to come out. You gonna I can't wait to show them to you. So I presented and at Sanford to a group of Hope Institute Year One team members from various schools, and we got talking about our Tiger Code. And I'm sharing, I'm fired up, and I said, man, if I can get some Tiger Code shoes, I would wear them every day. Like I would wear my Tiger Code shoes. I would present my shoes. So an art teacher from Columbia High School in Huntsville approached me afterwards and was like, if you buy some Chuck Taylor's white, your art kids can just create you some shoes. And I was like, really? So I go back to campus and I'm like, hey, they just told me about some shoes. And so they're like, well, possibly. So we began to look, couldn't really find any Converse, but we found some Nikes. So all white Nikes. And so my art kids have created 2 pair of Tiger Code shoes for me to wear when I go present. So that's the next thing that's coming. So that's something that the kids have done. Also we have our art kids, man. They've done um, murals around the building with Tiger Code on it. Our art teachers really bought in. Our kids have. We also, Daniel, we have a teacher who wrote a Tiger Code song. So we have our own song. Springville High School is a Tiger Code song. It's talk about being a tiger is so much more than going to school. Greatness is expected. Excellence is cool. It's all about our culture, tradition in our soul, working, loving, living, giving. That's just how we roll. I'm talking. That was written by people, and that's the chorus. So I mean, like we kind of buy in to do things where people really understand about our Tiger Code and what it means. But the main thing about it is every time you hear the word Tiger Code, it's connected to character and being a good person. So it's almost like fluent Tiger Code. You hear Tiger Code, it's connected to doing something good, being a good person, or even providing service. Like this year, our kids bought into Tiger Code, and we did a canned food drive, and we collected 7,500 cans for the community. So we sent out 7,500 cans just for our food pantries throughout the community. Then we ended up doing, along with that, we ended up doing a sock drive, for the military and thing boxes. So we did the boxes for them as well and had a great success with that as well. As far as just starting to get our children to understand too, it's about providing a service. It's not just about what we receive out of it or how we look, but what can we do for somebody else?
So I'm a proud representative of Tiger Code. So don't think I was gonna get on here and not have my listen. Come on now. Don't think I wasn't gonna be on here representing. Listen, Tiger Code way all day. Tiger Code way all day. Come on now. Listen, and I need me some shoes too. I need the whole. I need it all, baby. I need it all. I don't want just the. I don't want this. I just want the wristbands. I want it all.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, all in, all in. When I present in Tuscaloosa on the 23rd. I'm in Tuscaloosa, January 23rd. I should have on my shoes, and I told them I will not wear them outside. So when I walk in a case, I just put them on in the building. They don't touch the ground outside.
Wow. And listen, I need to see that. Let me know. Let me know about the time. I need to see that. That's good. That's good. Awesome. So, man, you talked about character, right? And when you hear Tiger Code, everything Tiger Code is all about character. Tell me a little bit about your partnership and kind of the work that you're doing with Hope Institute. I don't know if that was kind of what led to you all being a recipient of that award in 2023, but tell me a little bit about your character journey and how that's transformed the school.
Man, it's so just tell you how you be how God can lead and introduce and put people in your life. I met Dr. Jody Newton, who was the chair of education department at Sanford as far as the doctoral program. So I interviewed with her, and really we just connected and began to kind of take some doctoral classes through her. And she was a part of Hope Institute. And so at the time, I really wanted her to be my chair of my dissertation. And she was talking to me about hope. And so I really started Hope Institute while I was at Springwell Elementary and started attending and taking a team to learn about character. And we were trying to start those core values and things at Springwell Elementary. And in the midst of that, COVID hit and I transferred to the high school. So we lost that kind of connection piece there. Then at the time, I became a Hope Fellow, which there's 10 of us in the state, and all we do is we're less like the arms or branches of Hope Institute that go out and share, talk character, and just try to build support for character education in the state of Alabama. At the time, when I started with Springville High School, I had kind of known the things through Hope, so I knew about needing core values and needing touchstones, and that's how I found the Tiger Code and start using that because of Hope Institute. Then, my educational angel, as I call her now, became sick and ended up passing away. She passed away with cancer about a little bit over a year ago. And so she's my educational angel now. And just the spirit of her and the direction she led me in character and how to, graph my dissertation and do the work that I did to be successful still goes with me, and the light of Hope Institute and the pursuit of character education in the state of Alabama lives in me for her. So, that's still like my driving forces because I owe it to her to continue the mission of character education because of what she led me to and the opportunity she presented before me before, she passed away due to an illness.
Oh wow. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but
Yes,
I
sir.
think that one of the things that I take from that is that legacy. When somebody makes an impact on your life, then you have the opportunity to continue to remember, you know, what they were to you, or you have the opportunity to begin to live for them. I had a similar experience like that. I lost some family members, and I kind of started living because of what happened to them, and had an amazing educator that reminded me that you should start living for them instead, And so I see that you've taken that on, and we all need our guardian angels that are guiding us along the way. That's for sure.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
good. That's good. So, man, you've done a lot of things. Obviously, uh, huge success in the things that you have been doing. I guess the question I have right here for you is, what has been the biggest hurdle, the biggest challenge that has kind of like forged your mindset or kind of like helped you understand the importance of being resilient? Obviously, you have all the things you shared, and it took a lot of resilience for that. But if you could kind of pinpoint one thing, what would it be?
Really, I had to do a lot of just kind of soul searching of who I was as a person, and who I wanted to be, in that leadership role. Even when you're in the pursuit of wanting to lead a school, during that assistant principal journey, But when I was about year 9, man, I just began to feel. I would go to the gym and try to do a little cardio. I know I feel like my health is internal, You know what I'm saying? You just want to stay active, but I began to have a little feeling in my calf and didn't really feel well and not sure what was going on. And, I just was like, hey, I'm still got to work. You got to be here. You got to do that. Not really taking care of yourself. And then within 2.5 weeks, man, my son, I want to see his 16th birthday. I want to celebrate him and be there for that and those type things. Then I get it checked out. As we get through that, you always find another time like, oh, once I do this, I'll do it. But once I get to this, I'll do it. And I waited about 2.5 weeks, man, and ended up having blood clots in my legs and my groin and my chest and my lungs. And I'm in an active pulmonary embolism, to where I'm sick, and you get to the doctor right in time, But then when you have to lay on your back for 9 straight days of complete bed rest, don't move, make sure the medicine gets in you. We got to dissolve the clots. You have to go through the process. You have to do those things. You know, Life begins to become a little bit more important to you, and your perspective of things change because those are times when you have a lot of time to reflect on, is it all worth it, and what is your purpose, what is your why are you doing this? Is all thing you've been doing is for you, or was it really for someone else? Who have you touched in the time in which you've done all of these things in pursuit of a principalship or leading a school or trying to be successful? Were you wanting to do those things because you truly wanted to impact and help people, or were you trying to be a success for yourself? So, that's that moment when you realize, if you give me a chance to stand up and move again, if you give me a chance to have an opportunity to get it right, I have a new purpose now. I have a stronger why now because I have spent 17 years in a space of education trying to help people to just only help myself. But when you truly release self and you just give yourself to really your purpose of touching people's lives, then you realize all the success you're seeking will take care of itself. You don't have to go out there and try to do things to make sure that you have a chance to earn or receive something. You don't even go at this point now. When I go to Springville High School, I do the work because of the people. Whatever success we find at Springville High School, it's not because we're out there searching for it. It finds us because of the work that we're doing for kids and people in our community. So when you talk about a moment in your life when you have to realize your true purpose, that was it.
Has the opportunity to do that for a lot of us. But what I heard from you is that you really said, if I get this other opportunity, it's going to be for others. I think that not many, and well, I'm not going to say anything, but I think that it can be difficult for some to admit that we've had selfish pursuits. I've been doing this for me. So I applaud you just for your honesty because uh, being able to be honest about that means that it was a true transformation for you. When we still have some stuff that's inside of us, and so we don't want to share that stuff, right? I can't talk about that. I'm still working through that. I think a true testimony is when you're able to share it so that somebody else who may be in that now has the opportunity to self-evaluate and see if that's kind of like hindering them. And I'm grateful that that change happened for you, and it led to you doing some pretty amazing things and impacting the lives of others. But I love that if you impact enough people, then everything that you want to happen will eventually happen for you. And so, man, that's amazing perspective. Definitely appreciate you sharing that. And so, if there's one other thing that you would like to share about Springville, what would it be like? What do you want people to know about the work that you all are doing? What do you want people to know about Springville High School and the impact that character and culture has made?
One thing is that I was able to understand is everything that we're being able to do at Springwell High School was in place. Springwell High School has been great. It is a great school. It has been a great school. All I've done was try to give us an opportunity and a platform for people to see the greatness within us. Sometimes we do things well, but we do it, like I mentioned, just for us, right? So we want to be good because we're Springville, and we want Springville to be good. We want our sports to be good. We want to be a good school, and I applaud that. But like you just mentioned, when you have a chance to share your greatness with others to help other schools be great, now you're touching greatness, and now they're seeing the greatness within you because you've been able to extend other opportunities to other people. Like when you mentioned, different things that we do with character and different things that I get to go out and share now about our Tiger Code. That's had an opportunity to impact schools in Mobile, schools in Huntsville. Being getting to go to Tuscaloosa in another week just to share. That's one thing I want people to understand about the greatness of Springville High School is it was there, but it was just like no one knew about it. So when you can just tap into greatness and just give greatness some life and some energy, it just begins to just infuse itself throughout the community, and it begins to grow, and people want to know about you and what's going on. We're in the state of Alabama, so the first thing they're gonna ask you about is how your football team. How your football team, right? So they want to know about football, but then they also say, "Well, we heard something about a Tiger Code or something. What's going on? Is that spring with that Tiger Code?" And bam, there it is. So those things like that, man. Of you're just like we're more than just a sport or a report card score. As far as how you look academically, we are wanting to be the complete package. We not only do we do that, but why are we able to do certain things and how things being able to work a certain way in the Springville community is because the entire community of Springville is full of great people that all have come together, and we all have a common bond, a common goal of we want to see ourselves do things the right way, treat people the right way, and help our children be great people.
I love it. And you went from dusting up, blowing some dust off of that old Tiger Code that nobody had paid attention to, and now a lot of schools are coming in to now see just exactly how it's done. So kudos to you, kudos to the students, kudos to all the educators and everyone in the community. They're doing a great job to make you all have a spotlight right there in Springville. And so we like to end our segments on this note, and it's called a segment called "Better Days Ahead." And in this, what we do is we just try to give encouragement to anybody that listens to the podcast, anybody that's listening to the show. What kind of advice, whether it be a mantra, whether it be words of wisdom that you have to somebody that is needing a little pep in their step in order for them to keep putting one foot in front of the other.
For me, it is stay committed to who you are. Like who you are, it should be who you commit to. You were raised a certain way. You know right from wrong. Don't try to chase success or opportunities to please someone else. Don't try to fit in somebody else's box. you know Stay committed to who you are. Like I tell people all the time now, stay committed to the fundamentals. Be true to you. This is that, be who you are. If you have to change who you are to appease somebody else or to receive something, then you're losing sight of who you were meant to be. So I think if I had to say better days ahead for somebody is if you stay committed to who you are, it might not be happen on your time, but if you stay committed, it'll be even better on God's time.
Oh, come on now. There we go. There we go. Well, everybody, I just want to say thank you so much, Dr. Moore, for your time. Thank you so much for all the wisdom that you're able to share. And thank you so much for continuing to make an impact in the lives of many. I like to end with just the advice that you give us about better days ahead. For all of you out there that may be going through some challenging times, just stay committed to who you are. Like you said, if you can stay committed to who you are, those fundamentals, then guess what? It may not happen on your time, but it happened on God's time. Thank you so much for your time, Dr. Moore. It's another segment of Mindset on Resilience. You all have an amazing day.